in Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, is making a beeline towards the upper peninsula and also will impact the parts of the lower peninsula as well. So this is headed towards Wausau, Stephen Point, Cronwetter, Knowlton, Rudolph, just went through Sherry. It's now going to be impacting Stephen Point, Byron. So Byron, there is actually a bow echo that's heading in your direction right here. There's a bow echo right over here. There's a bow echo that is heading right towards you. And there's also some hail in this. So hail up to dime to quarter size is not out of the question. So maybe up to dime to maybe 3/4 of an inch size hail is likely with this storm, and very strong winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. We got some hail signatures in there. Let's look at velocity. Very, very strong winds. I mean, look at this. We're having winds up to 90 miles an hour, literally just a few hundred feet up above the surface. And so this line right here is probably, oh, damn, it just went through Byron. The damage and destructive winds just went through Byron. Even though it looks like the stronger winds are actually surrounding the line, there's a very good chance that these winds are making it down towards the surface. I mean, this is only looking at like 5,000 feet up, 5,000 to 6,000 feet up. So this is right here, Byron. So Byron is right about here, so like about 7,000 feet. So you're having winds up to 100 miles an hour making it down towards the surface. I mean, look at these winds behind this line. This is a derecho. There's going to be very strong winds. Let me turn on MPing report. You're going to be having so many wind reports right now. Let's look at some of these wind reports. Wind damage, significant wind damage. How long is the building's completely destroyed? Are you sure? Like, that does not look right. Maybe there was a small tornado, but I think there's some person who could be probably just making stuff up. There's no severe weather. Look, they're talking about, look, there's all these damage reports. There's no thunderstorms in Chicago. There's literally no thunderstorm. This is all non-thunderstorm related wind gusts. You're literally having just really, really strong winds in ahead of this line. You're having strong winds at the surface up to about 100 feet in elevation. Winds up to 60 miles an hour reaching the surface. Psst, incredible. I mean, look at this. You see this color? You see all those pinks? That's about 50 mile an hour winds. I mean, so all these damage reports are not surprising. I mean, let's look at Chicago. Let's go right now to Chicago and look at Chicago weather. No, let's look at current reports. You're going to be seeing wind gusts gusting at like 45, 50 miles an hour right now. So high wind warning, yeah, definitely warranted. Wind gusts could occasionally gust over 50 miles an hour. Absolutely. High wind warning is definitely warranted. That's what I was expecting. A high wind warning has to be issued for these kind of winds. A wind advisory is literally not enough. Like, I mean, let's look at Midway International Airports. We're having gusts already over 50. I mean, look at this. Midway. Let's look at Midway. Look at their gusts. 51 miles an hour. Midway's had a 51 mile an hour gust. This is incredible. Chicago is literally having damaging winds just from southerly wind. This is from the inflow. So yeah, these storms have a huge amount of wind energy. I mean, these storms are literally packing. Like, there is so much wind energy with these storms. And the storms aren't even here. You're having all these winds. So the winds aloft are even stronger. So let's look at tilt 3 for velocity. So here's your peak winds. About 80. So there could be some 90 mile an hour gusts reaching down towards the surface from this line. Especially when the rain comes in, you're going to have some really strong winds. So this is absolutely insane. And there was already several tornadoes report. And look at this blowing snow. Incredible in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. There's literally blowing snow in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is just absolutely insane. Like, just behind the severe weather, you're having blowing snow. So Worthington, let's look at correlation coefficient, snow. Let's look at precipitation depiction, Worthington, snow. So even though you're seeing a rain report, there's likely snow in this. Jesus, this is absolutely insane. Yeah, you're likely going to change over to snow very shortly in Jackson. Also, there's been some unrest at Kempe Flegrei. I have not checked the latest news, but there's been some unrest there. Let me. So I'm going to look at Kempe Flegrei right now. There's been some more updates for this week. There we go. CFG. Okay. There's been some minor earthquake activity at CF, which is Kempe Flegrei, very minor. Very, very minor activity. So you can see little quakes there, probably barely registering as a magnitude 0, probably 0 points, maybe even negative magnitudes. There's been some more activity than usual over the last few weeks, but nothing major, nothing significant has been going on. Last week, there was actually a magnitude 2 quake that was reported at Kempe Flegrei last Tuesday. Today is Thursday, I believe. So this probably is from... Today's actually Wednesday. So I believe this is from... Yeah, latest report is December 11th. See? Actually, this is November 29th. I actually have not checked it in a couple weeks. So I'm going to check the latest one. I've not checked it from last week, so let's see. Not a lot of quakes, so it's actually cooler this week. Literally, the strongest quake this week was only a magnitude 0.5 was the strongest quake. Looks like uplift is actually accelerating again just a little bit. Yeah, there's been a small uplift in increase in uplift. Also, there's been there's been some pretty significant increasing in carbon emissions. In fact, they're at their highest levels that they've been in at least a year almost. It's been at least over a year since the last time we reached such high levels, which is indicating that there's much more magma accumulating in the Earth's crust, not just by the increase in CO2, but also the increase in uplift has been accelerating. It was seeming to slow down right about here. So right here, it was seeming to slow down a little bit. You could see almost like it was trying to slow down. Like this area, it was trying to slow down, but now it's accelerating again. It's starting to accelerate again a little bit. Right in this area, it's trying to accelerate again. So it's starting to accelerate again. See, it's kind of... See, it's going up just a little, like a bit of an angle. So okay. See, it's... The rate of uplift is pretty steady. In fact, see how it would slow down and then increase and then slow down. But now it's more consistently going up. At Kempe Flegrei, this is 2019, within a year, it would usually go up every year by 100. Between 20 and 21 also by about 100. Of course, in 2021, it was a little bit more than 100. So see, it was a little... So between 2020 being at 100 millimeters and 2021 being at 200 millimeters, just like a little bit above, like I'll say 205 millimeters, right? Okay. So this is this is 2019, right? 2020. And then a year later, so I would say about 225. See, it won't let me. So like 205. But this year, we're well above that. I mean, we're like almost at 350. We're like, instead of being at 300, we're almost approaching 350. Almost, but not quite. I don't know if we're going to hit that mark. We're probably going to hit... my expectation is this is where we're going to hit. Probably going to hit somewhere right about there, which is about 335 millimeters. That's, 10, 20, 30, 40, or not even 330. It's about like 330. So between 300 and 350, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7. So it's like in eighths, I believe, or in tenths. So it has to be in tenths. So it's like, because this is in millimeters, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe this is the fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and those are the zeros between where they're touching. So it looks like we're going to be having about 10, 20, 30, 40. So like somewhere around 440 millimeters, 140 millimeters of uplift this year versus 105. So yeah, the rate of uplift has definitely shot up this year compared to last year and last other years. In fact, this is the fastest rate of uplift since 1985. Of course, it's nothing at that level, but it's still a really rapid rate. I'm also going to be going to weather.cod website. Let's look at total precipitation accumulation. Even though we're going to be the NAO is trending negative, I'm just going to say right now, yes, the NAO is trending negative again, but it's not going really negative. Yeah, we're going to -1. So looks like we're going to be going -1. So yeah, NAO is going to be negative. This is very common for La Nina to have blocking patterns. Let's go to the Nao Index again, from 1950 to present. So let's look at the NAO. So this is basically from 1950 onwards. Current. AO. I'm going to end